The first story. In a cozy hilltop town was an ancient villa known for its legendary status as a cursed area. For many years, local residents believed that the villa belonged to evil spirits and the restless dead. Frankly speaking, few people dared to come close to this abandoned place. However, one dark and cold night, young reporter Eva decided to conduct her own investigation and prove whether the villa is really cursed or just local myths and legends. A sense of danger filled her heart, but her desire to reveal the truth outweighed her fear. Grabbing a camera, a flashlight, and a notebook, Eva set off on a research mission. Arriving at the villa, she felt the smell of dampness and an atmosphere of mystery in the air. Each step brought her closer to the answers. Entering the villa, Eva faced the dilapidated walls, which were riddled with cracks, cobwebs, and the remains of once luxurious furniture. She followed every creak and slight breath of wind, trying to understand and decipher the secret this villa was hiding. Eva went around every corner of the villa, opened old doors, and looked into every room, hoping to find hidden secrets. After a long search, she came across a crack in the wall in one of the rooms. Intrigued, she dismantled the wall piece by piece and, to her surprise, discovered a secret passage. Eva's heart was struck by fear and admiration at the same time. She saw that this passageway led to a secret room that housed archival documents from the previous owners of the villa. There she discovered records of unusual phenomena that had occurred here over the past centuries. There were mentions of strange sounds, shadows moving, and even reports of people disappearing. Delving into the documents, Eva found a reference to an old secret basement that served as a hideout for local bandits in the past. Gathering all her courage, she found this basement, opened the old floor, and went down. Darkness enveloped her, but her lantern illuminated the long corridor covered in dust and cobwebs. Eva walked forward in silence, breathing heavy, nervous breaths. At the end of the corridor, she saw an old rusty door that led to a mysterious room. She opened the door and entered a small room filled with candles. Strange symbols and signs were painted on the walls, and traces of fresh earth were visible on the floor. Eva's heart stopped beating when she realized that this was the place where people disappeared. Realizing that she had found the main piece of the puzzle, Eva took several pictures of the room and marked all the details in her notebook. She felt herself getting closer to solving the curse that surrounded the place. But the unusual calm was interrupted by the loud sound of the door of the small room. Frightened, Eva turned and saw that two criminals had entered the room. They were stylishly and beautifully dressed, but they looked very dangerous. Eva's heart began to beat so fast that it felt as if it would jump out of her chest. Her fear was so strong that she could not even utter a word. The criminals were getting closer to Eva, and her fear was growing. She understood that no one would come to help. Her last ray of hope faded when she realized that her investigation had led to this terrifying moment. The criminals silently approached Eva and tied her up. No one saw her being taken from the villa. Her story was lost, and with it the hope of revealing the secret. The criminals left Eva's body in the oblivion and mystery of this cursed area. Criminals continued their criminal activities, and the town suffered from their brutality. Eva was forgotten, and her desire to uncover the truth about the villa and the criminals was suppressed. Residents were afraid to even mention her name, and legends about the curse of the villa became even more alive. The second story. It was the summer of 2017. A small, picturesque village house, hidden in the deep woods, witnessed terrible events that changed the lives of its inhabitants forever. The Martin family lived in the house, The father, Robert, was a respected farmer in the village. The mother, Carolina, was a housewife, and their son, Michael, was a 10-year-old boy with a bright mind and a lively imagination. Life was peaceful until mysterious events overtook the family. In the evening one day, when the sun was hiding behind the horizon, Michael heard strange sounds that resembled moaning or crying. He left his room and went to the window. Outside the window stood an old abandoned storehouse, which had been empty for a long time. Michael had never heard such a sound before, and his heart filled with cold fear. He decided to ask his father about it.
Dad, I heard a strange sound outside the window, like someone crying. What could it be?
Michael asked, waving his hands excitedly. Robert stopped his work and looked at his son in shock.
Maybe you're just imagining it, Michael. That old house next to ours has been abandoned for a long time. It's empty and abandoned. There can't be anyone there.
However, Michael couldn't believe that it was all just his imagination. Every night, the sounds became stronger and scarier. Not only did they disturb little Michael's sleep, but they spread throughout the house, leaving an eerie energy in the air. Every day, Michael noticed that the family was becoming more and more tense. Their relationship was falling apart under the influence of fear and uncertainty. It seems that no one believed Michael and did not take his stories seriously. But one evening, when the family was sitting at dinner, the window quickly opened by itself. Everyone frowned as the door slid open almost silently. It became deathly quiet inside the house. Only the sound of a heartbeat with flashes of fear interrupted this silence. Michael decided that it was time to prove to his parents that he was not lying. He got up from the chair, took the flashlight, and ran into the yard. He walked slowly to the storage house, opened the old creaky door, and entered. It was gloomy and dark inside. Michael went around the old boxes and a lot of dust, looking for the origin of the strange sounds. Suddenly, he heard a voice saying,
Help me. Don't forget. Help me.
Michael bent down and saw the forgotten spirit of the woman standing before him. Her eyes were full of sadness and pain.
Who are you?
Stretched out Michael, covering his mouth in horror.
I was abandoned, forgotten. My name is Elizabeth. Everyone has forgotten me, but I cannot leave this world. You are the only one who can help me.
Elizabeth whispered. Michael realized that this woman was trapped between life and death. She needed his help to find her peace. He felt responsible for her and realized that only by solving her problem would he be able to restore peace to his family. Michael returned to the house and told his parents about his acquaintance with Elizabeth, and although at first the father and mother were surprised, they saw determination and faith in Michael's eyes. Together, they decided to help Elizabeth find peace. The investigation revealed that Elizabeth was a longtime resident of the village who died in a terrible accident. She was forgotten, and her soul wandered, seeking to find the lost memory. The Martin family turned to a local magician who performed a cleansing ritual to help Elizabeth find peace. Soon after the ritual, the sounds disappeared, and the storehouse became empty and calm. The Martin family regained its harmony, and Michael was grateful for the opportunity to help the departed soul find peace. And although this story left its mark on the hearts of the Martin family, they learned an important lesson: never forget those who were once from our world. Otherwise, they may return to remind us of their presence in the strangest forms.